Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another episode of Group Chat, the number one podcast in the world. You're stuck with the Indians today again. Dee and Anand here, bringing you everything you need for your daily life. First up, we're talking about a little bit of a recap of our last episode where we talked about crime. Got some feedback on it. Some people proposing some solutions, which is always helpful. We're hearing about this Delta variant. Should we be concerned? Why is LA County asking us to wear masks again indoors? New guy hits the town.
New guy's always hitting the town.
New guy hits the town, tells us a new story. And lack of posts on our TikTok. We find out why. And we came up with a new conference that is going to be probably sweeping the world.
Yes.
This is a global conference. It's called CommonCon. So learn about CommonCon in today's episode. Let's get into it.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to Group Chat, the number one safest pod in America. Thanks to all the support for the police we have now. I got a lot of DMs.
Did you get any backlash? I didn't get any.
I got a lot.
Backlash?
No, I just got a lot of DMs.
Oh.
What's interesting is, so it was more like in terms of, because we were asking, what does change look like? What does police reform look like? So someone that actually went through the police academy told me that the biggest opportunity for particularly LAPD is actually at the academy level of training. As a person that went through it, he didn't feel that it was sufficient enough to be a police officer. He ultimately did not become one for other reasons, but what he was saying is, like, if we're talking about reform and change, it should start there. Maybe even raising the qualifications to become a police officer. Like, maybe you need to go get a college degree. Maybe you need to do this. The training's a little more expansive. It does involve like mental awareness and training on those elements, as well as having a better understanding of finding police officers from those communities, because often most people who work in the police department do not live in those communities. So those were the constructive ideas around what does police reform actually look like. So there was a lot of that, but there was a lot of people who also totally understand kind of what we're saying, don't really have solutions for that either, but they understand that, like, we probably have no other choice but an increased police presence to help solve some of these problems.
Yep.
It sounds like there's not a easy answer for this problem. And what it sounds like, the feedback I also got is the general sentiment is that it's going to get worse.
Yeah, so I think actually I thought about this a lot over the last couple of days, and I think the near-term solution, which no one wants to hear, is you have to double the funding to increase training and increase pay so that you're getting more qualified candidates that want to do this job. And I think that's like a fairly like obvious kind of looking out that if you train more, you pay better, you're going to get better candidates.
And I think the other thing we have to also realize, in the last 12 months, there was a lot of early retirement. A lot of people quit the police forces across the country, given the sentiment in the country. And maybe that helped weeded out some bad seeds, but I'm sure it weeded out some good seeds too.
Sure.
Like, you know, if you look at how many people quit, or there was I think there's an article in the New York Times where a woman, I think in Asheville, North Carolina, was like pretty much shunned from her family because she was a cop. So, you know, I'm sure those are very tough decisions if you are a community member and your own community won't welcome you because of your profession.
So at the height of BLM last June, July, Ben Horowitz had a very senior police officer from East Palo Alto on a podcast. And East Palo Alto, for people who don't know, is one of the most dangerous parts of California. It's, even though it borders where Stanford is, you literally go 4 or 5 miles the other way. It's a very crime-riddled community. And he's a black guy. He's a black police officer. And he said because he was from the community and he was a police officer, he was able to be more effective than like a white police officer in that same community.
Yeah. Because they understand.
People didn't feel threatened by him.
Yeah.
So when he came around and questioned, if they were in trouble, they were like, you know, a little more receptive to talking to him, and they were open. Whereas other police officers,
if you don't live in the community, you don't understand the nuances of that community,
exactly,
and the language,
and like he knows the people's parents, these kids' parents, because he's from the community. So when they see him come around, it was a very different.
That seems like a easier short-term solution. Is like you have to live within 10 miles of where you actually practice.
Yeah.
You know, your career. And in this particular instance, being local actually matters. Like you can't work from home being a cop.
Yep.
You need to be on the street in your community.
You have to know, I mean, it seems kind of obvious. If you're policing a community, you have to actually know the community.
Yeah.
You can't come from outside and then you just get thrown in and you're kind of just reading by a book rather than knowing the nuances of the community.
Yeah. And I think
who's who, what do people do?
Yeah. And I think that was the interesting feedback on the training part of like finding people that are local.
I mean, think about it. I've lived in the same place 14 years. I don't know one cop.
Yeah.
14 years.
Yeah.
I don't know one police officer by name, face, anything.
Yeah, which is crazy. And I think that's the opportunity for the police department is like, they need to be an extension of the community, not against the community or causing fear into the community. And I think there are police chiefs and departments that are progressive enough to understand that, because I think having someone local makes such a difference because you'll know where everything's going on too.
Yes.
Oh, this neighborhood, this happens.
Yes.
These are the streets.
Like I know everything about my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Literally everything. I run in my neighborhood. I walk in my neighborhood. I take my kid on walks in the neighborhood. I eat in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I know my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I don't know one police officer.
So those are opportunities that I think can help solve some of the problems of the past, but also solve the problems that are happening right now, which is just a wave of crime that these big cities are facing.
Right.
Because my guess is if you go to a suburban town in America, there's more likelihood the police officers from that community.
That's what the TV shows make it seem like.
Yeah.
These small towns, the cop knows everyone.
Andy Griffith.
It's like Mayor of Easttown. Have you watched that?
Which one?
Mayor of Easttown. It's on HBO Max.
Okay.
Incredible show. I'm on episode 3.
It's about cops.
Unbelievable. But yeah, the star, it's Kate Winslet.
Okay.
She's a detective. She knows everyone in town.
Yeah. Maybe we need Kate Winslet. Well, the discussion will continue. My only advice to everyone is stay safe. And now, if you live in Los Angeles County, not only do you have to worry about crime, you now have to worry about the Delta variant, which is sweeping the country now.
Yes.
So I look at the absolute numbers. They are still small.
Yeah, because it's off. So to not panic people, these increases are off a very low base.
Yeah.
So, going from 50 to 250 cases, that's a 5x increase. But 250 cases is still nominal.
So we're seeing, so let's put aside America for a second. Israel, which is basically been ahead of America from the last kind of year in terms of how they've handled COVID. And they were vaccinated very early. They vaccinated their population very early. They were open to tourists earlier with quarantine. They have now rolled back allowing tourists till August. And they're now requiring masks indoor because of this variant. LA County yesterday recommended that, not mandatory, but recommended that when you're indoor, you should wear masks, even if you're vaccinated or non-vaccinated. And the data really shows that in non-vaccinated communities, non-heavily vaccinated communities, there's been a rise. If you read about, I've only read about Pfizer and Moderna, but it looks like both of those protect against the variants. So, I mean, if they're requiring or they're asking people to wear a mask, are they seeing some data that is saying, hey, this thing is spreading? It's not cause for full alarm yet, but it could be.
So, given the last 12 to 18 months of dealing with this, it's really tough to take anything that LA County or the state says is like, actually real.
Yeah.
Because they've been wrong on pretty much everything, including the World Health Organization, including the CDC. They said no masks in the beginning. So it's tough to take state officials seriously. But here's what we actually have to take seriously. This variant's real.
Yeah.
And we still only have half the country vaccinated. So you have half the population that is very susceptible to this variant, and antibodies don't last. I know there's this whole wave of people that say I already got COVID, I'm not getting the vaccine. But guess what? Antibodies disappear. So there's a good chance you're going to catch it again, especially the variant is a much more contagious. But I will say one thing, that the Moderna and Pfizer, you can get reinfected and you can get the variant. But what we need to know also is your hospitalization rates and death are near zero.
Yeah.
So I think we have to actually think about this, not just blanket statements oh, variants here, everyone get scared. If you're vaccinated, you're protected a lot from it. You might not even get it, and even if you do get it, you're going to have a very mild case. So here's where nuance is going to matter the most, and I'm afraid no one's going to think in nuance.
I actually think they'll have no choice because no one's accepting a lockdown this time.
Yeah.
I mean, people could be dropping dead in the middle of Wilshire Boulevard, Sunset Boulevard, and no one's locking down this state again. And this is the most restricted state. I just don't see in any world. Everyone's having too much fun.
Yeah.
That party's not stopping.
Yeah, did you see Travis Scott last night?
Yeah, exactly. Travis Scott at Poppy last night.
Travis Scott.
Did you go, Jason?
I did. I saw my story. I was right behind him.
Okay. Oh, you went?
Yeah.
He
No
texted
way.
me at 9 o'clock at night.
I was literally right behind him the whole time, all night.
We'll
How'd
get
you
there.
get
We'll
in?
get there in a second. We'll get there in a second.
Let's finish it.
So I think I don't think we're going to go down that route. So I'm not even concerned about that. And even in Israel, half the people that were infected were under the age of 16 who are not vaccinated.
Yeah.
So now Israel is pushing for 12 to 15-year-olds to get vaccinated. So, I hope this is an encouragement for people to get vaccinated so that they don't get this Delta variant.
The problem with the media is they don't know how to frame things, and they just want to, it's shock news and clickbait.
Well, because shock news is better.
Shock news and clickbait works because I actually think it's going to do the adverse, is that people are going to be like, oh, look at all these people got vaccinated and still get the vaccinated and still get the virus. And they're not saying hey, if you get the vaccine and you get the virus, you're actually not getting a very strong case of it.
Yeah.
And no one's sending that message.
Yeah.
Because this is why we're so behind on vaccine rates. I mean, the Biden administration said 70% by July. Now we're saying 60% by October because things have fallen off a cliff.
Yeah.
And people now think that just because caseloads are low and you're not vaccinated, that you don't need to go get it. You have to get it or you will. It's inevitable. If you do not get the vaccine, you will get COVID.
Yeah.
Whether it's the original COVID-19 or the variant, you're getting it.
Yeah.
So that message isn't being sent. I don't see it. I don't see it in the news. I don't see it anywhere.
I mean, it is out there. It's not. The problem is that message. If that was a headline, hey, you guys should probably get vaccinated because there's you'll get them out. No one's going to read that article. We don't want to read that.
Yeah, rather the article is variant spreading LA, wear your mask.
Yeah.
Because they know people hate fucking masks.
Yeah.
So that's a click. Wait, what?
Yeah.
I have to wear my mask again?
Because here's the thing. Let's be honest. All these people who are not vaccinated, they aren't getting vaccinated. What is going to get them over the hump at this point? There's no wait. They've been incentivized. There's lotteries to win money, get tickets, do all this shit. They're not going to get vaccinated.
I just don't get it. I don't know what information they think they have.
You should read our TikTok comments about the building collapse, and you'll know why these people are not getting vaccinated. They're just not going to do it.
Because they don't trust institutions.
They don't trust Bill Gates. They don't trust the government. They don't.
Does anyone know Bill Gates has nothing to do with the vaccine?
No, everyone believes he has everything. Even people who got the vaccine, everyone's like, yeah, Bill Gates chipped me up. Like,
Tim and Jason, if you guys didn't listen to the pod and you have been here, would you have gotten vaccinated?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got vaccinated before. It was like a month before I got on the pod.
But
meaning like, did we have an influence on you getting the vaccine? Because you're a young, healthy guy.
Right.
And I know you listened to the podcast even before joining, and we are so pro-vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
Do your friends get the vaccine?
My friends have all gotten the vaccine, and then I got the vaccine. My family is very like, we need to get vaccinated, and let's not play about our health since the very beginning. So it's always been that way.
I only know one person who's my age that went to college with me that didn't get the vaccine, like on purpose, like is afraid of it. But what you guys did do was you got me all excited for the chip, and I'm
never got it.
I never got it. I really want a chip now. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't. The problem is like Biden administration wants to get more people vaccinated. The variant's here.
Yes, and it's gonna. I mean, I've already had so many conversations about this. It's basically like summer, everyone's traveling.
Yeah.
Europe's on, like everyone's going to Europe.
I do
and
think
people are going to come back with variants, and it's going to spread here in the fall too.
I think Europe's going to get shut down.
I think Europe's going to get shut down.
I don't think anyone's going to Europe, to be honest with you. I think it's all going to get shut down. That place,
because they actually. So the optimism is, despite decelerating vaccination rates in the United States, we still have like half the population that has vaccination.
Yeah.
And the other half already got it.
Yeah.
So we have like some sort of like
herd
immunity right now already. But the problem is when they come back, there's going to be a portion of the population that's just going to get ravaged.
Yeah.
Because they didn't get the vaccine, their antibodies are going to be gone.
But not to sound insensitive, I don't think anyone gives a fuck anymore. I honestly don't believe society. If you chose to get vaccinated and you're moving on with your life and you had to go through the last 18 months, I'm sorry, I don't think anyone cares. Fast forward, you didn't get vaccinated and you chose to live your life. I don't think anyone cares either. Like at this point, everyone is going to look out for themselves.
So I think, not to even sound more insensitive, I feel like if you didn't get vaccinated and you get the variant, you're not first in line to get a hospital bed.
Why?
Meaning, like, we can't stop putting patients that are voluntary, like, procedures and not... Because that's what happened during COVID. People that needed like non-life-threatening procedures were put on pause.
Yeah.
And I don't think we should do that if there's an actual, like...
Yeah, which I think the person that's not vaccinated is okay with that. If they get the Delta variant and they're sick, I think they're okay with the cards they've been dealt.
Yeah. No, I think it's going to get tricky because I'm telling you, in the fall, we're going to see a portion of the population not going to shut down. It's not going to be lockdowns in the United States. I think there'll be lockdowns everywhere else.
Yeah.
There's going to be a portion of the population just get ravaged by this.
Yeah, and I think at this point, everyone has the same information. You choose what you do with it. You choose how to live your life. If you decide to go down the path that's best for you and doesn't work out, that's on you. That's America.
Yeah, because,
every variant for themselves.
Clay Travis, who took over Rush Limbaugh's radio spot with Buck Sexton. It's as MAGA as it gets.
Yeah.
20 million listeners. He is daily on the radio saying he already got COVID, he doesn't need the vaccine.
Yeah.
That is 20 million people that believe that they don't need the vaccine.
That's fine. They're okay with that. They're okay with the consequences of that.
I don't think they're okay when they can't get a hospital bed.
I think they are.
I feel like, honestly, if you didn't get vaccinated, you get ravaged by the Rona and you need oxygen, and it's a decision between, hey, the guy at LA Fitness tore his ACL, or the guy with the ACL gets to go first.
Yeah, you got to sign a waiver.
Yes.
Everyone in LA Fitness goes ahead of me.
Yeah. Literally, like the weekend athlete warrior is ahead of every COVID patient that did not get vaccinated. If we can message that, maybe people will get vaccinated.
Yeah, the problem is that's not going to be received well. You can't tell people to get vaccinated anymore. It's
Why?
over.
We do it for schools.
These people don't want.
Literally, it's like sub 1% of kids probably don't get the basic vaccines.
Yes, but this is political. Has nothing to do with science. Has to do with QAnon. Has to do with Bill Gates, Jeffrey Epstein.
I don't know. It's so frustrating because it's so
and Delta
solvable.
apparently.
And Delta.
Yeah,
Poor
Delta's
Delta.
Airlines?
Yeah. That must be where this variant came from, right?
I'm a big Delta fan.
I'm offended on behalf of Delta.
I mean, by the way, if I was Delta, I'd be trying to call this the Spirit variant. Because you're talking about a shitty experience. It should really be Spirit. Delta's actually, in my opinion, the best fucking airline in the
Do you
world.
know why it's so frustrating? Because COVID's actually solved.
Yeah.
We're just not solving it.
I'm not frustrated by it because I've taken care of my family. Now you should take care of your own. If you don't care to do that, that's on you.
Just let the weekend warrior go ahead of you for your oxygen.
Yeah, dude, it's survival of the fittest at this point. Like we all, as a community, wore a mask, sat at home. We did what we were told for this long, and it had such a big, devastating impact on society. Now people don't want to get vaccinated. They don't want to wear a mask. Your fucking problem, not mine.
Yeah.
Straight up.
All right.
Moving on.
Tell him, D.
I don't know what else to say. They're not going to get vaccinated. Who
No,
cares?
they're not.
Who cares at this point? Let's go on to more important things. Alcohol service on airlines might stop.
That would be devastating for me.
You, as you know, I know you're a big airplane drinker.
I'm a big airplane, need my red wine, catch a movie, catch a nap. It's great.
So I enjoy, like, you know, having that drink, falling asleep. I enjoy that. Some people apparently enjoy having 4, 6, 8, 12 drinks and completely being out of control on airplanes. Airlines are considering ending alcohol service because passengers are out of fucking control. Flight attendants are being verbally abused on literally every flight, they're saying. Because people have lost their ability to communicate. This is the problem with work from home. You know how this is going to be society.
Yep.
Imagine sitting at home all day, not having to like say, excuse me, can you hold that door for me? There's people, when you walk around now, like when I had my kids in a stroller the other day, I went to Starbucks with both of them. Like 3 people came and opened the door for me. It was like an incredible, like, I was like, wow, everyone's just so nice.
Double stroller.
Once Dominic in walking and then Miles in the stroller. Everyone's like so nice. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I was coming in the office. The guy saw me walking right into the door. I had 2 bags, a box. He not only did not keep it open, he pushed it to close it fast.
The elevator.
No, the door to the building. Like he closed it.
Maybe he thought he had the Delta variant.
So, I mean, it is the Indian variant. But my point being is I think people have lost their ability to interact with other human beings because they haven't done it in so long. And the fact, I'm hearing horror stories about air flights. Like people are always fighting and arguing. All kinds of incidents are happening on airplanes. I mean, our friends were on a flight this morning back from Vegas. I think it was at 8 a.m. He's like, the guys before the flight has taken off had 2 vodka crans before taking off.
But flight was coming from Vegas.
Okay, but
Hair of the dog.
Oh, valid point.
Give them.
I'm sure the guy on the way there, the way back, and he's doing that flight twice a week. Okay, I actually think to be fair, I think alcohol should be banned on flights and stadiums.
Wow.
Oh, stadium.
I don't believe that.
I want all. I do not. As someone who have been belligerent drunk at stadiums, just don't serve me alcohol.
That would ruin the experience.
Yeah, but it's actually quite both. If you're not drunk, and you're just going to a game, which like I've been to plenty of games where I'm not drunk, it's so unpleasant to be next to the drunk person, the drunk guy.
Yeah, I think it.
Which is why you get drunk.
Yeah,
you have to
tolerate the drunk person
I think
next
it's
to you.
more enforcement. Like the passengers that are getting unruly, there has to be like real punishment, like send them 2 years in jail, and similar like Sons and Four guy.
He's a hero.
He got celebrated like a hero.
Yeah.
He knocked out 2 guys.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think
But I think alcohol is the root of the problem in these two cases. Stadium fighting and airplanes, it's alcohol. You remove the alcohol, you're not having these issues.
I think this is just post-COVID people.
Yes, I
Post-COVID
think
people
that's
are weird.
So
Bars have been weird.
angry.
okay, tell
I've
me
never-
about it. I've only been to Delilah. So what's
Oh my
what's
God.
going on in bars?
Like last week or 2 weeks ago, I went to a bar in West Hollywood, and within 10 minutes of being in there, I had 4 people hit on me, which like never happened to me pre-COVID.
Right.
Never. I haven't. Haven't been working out, not looking any better.
Yeah.
But people are weird, and people offered
People
things
wanna
like
fuck.
people said like, "Hey, you want to come back to our place? We're all going skinny dipping," and I was like. What?
Yeah.
I just got here, first of all. I'm stone cold sober. We just met. That's like not a thing that happened pre-COVID, at least not to me.
Yeah, so I
That's
think
what people are like
people
now.
are just aggressive.
Yeah.
I think generally speaking, people are aggressive. And I think you add alcohol, you add people's kind of pent up whatever emotions they've had. It's when
When does it normalize? Like this,
let's assume a good percentage of the population never goes back to work. That's possible,
I
right?
don't think that's true, but sure.
But let's just say 25%, just say we're never going back, whatever. Those people are going to be like that forever. If you took a work from home person that doesn't have a family, I think if a work from home person that has a family, they're at least having to have patience with their children. So they exude some sort of togetherness in their day life. If you don't have kids, why do you have to act normal? You can just be a fucking raging lunatic all day at home. Then you go on the internet and you're in the comments being a raging lunatic. And then you hit every platform to be a raging lunatic.
Yeah, I wonder if comments have gotten worse during the pandemic.
No, they've always been bad.
They've
I don't
always
know.
been bad.
Yeah.
I just think
It's just the physical world has gotten worse.
People are now acting like they do in the comments because they've
Right.
spent so long in the comments.
Yeah.
You know?
You know how they say internet in real life? It's actually comments in real life.
Comments.
Comments.
Comments in real life were comments. I want to do, Complex Con is the internet in real life. I'm going to do comments in real
It's
life.
everyone fighting.
And
Everyone
I'm going to
fighting.
I'm going to go around the internet and find people with the most heinous comments and invite them a free pass. And you get to come out here and you can just spew it to whomever you like. You walk around, you want to insult the guy next to you, you can go to insult him.
Comments con.
Yeah. Comments Con.
Oh, man.
What's funny is a listener of ours was like, I have the person for you who's a completely normal person in real life, but on the internet is a raging lunatic. And he introduced me on Twitter with him, and the guy just went on a crazy rant of stuff, of the craziest stuff.
What was he talking about?
Just, I'll share it. It's nuts. It's just, it sounds like a guy that comments a lot.
Can we talk about Travis Scott?
So last night, he texts me, I don't know,
He is Jason, the new guy.
Jason, aka New Guy, hits me and goes, "Hey, is it too much trouble to ask to get into Poppy tonight?" And for Travis, he said it would be a travesty per their Instagram.
Yeah.
He used their Instagram
Yeah,
as their
I saw
selling
the
point.
I saw the moniker.
So I said, "Hey, I think it's going to be crazy, and maybe you shouldn't go." And then I didn't respond. I had dinner, whatever. And then he texted me again at 9:30, like, "Can you see if it's okay?" So I, text Brian, and I was like, "Hey, can you let
New guy.
New Guy in?" And he's like, "Yeah." I don't know what happened after that. I mean, I see he looks like he slept here because he's wearing some merch that we made for one of our brands.
Jason's just collecting merch because he sleeps here so much. He's just in like random ass
every
hoodies
time.
every
Yeah.
night.
So what
So
happened?
here, this is what I don't get. The
Yeah.
first question before you get in the story.
Yes.
You barely got in to Tuesday night Bootsy
Yes.
2 weeks ago, your first go around.
Mhm.
I saw Brian post the Instagram of Travis Scott. It was complete pandemonium outside. How'd you go from barely getting into a club where there isn't pandemonium to like probably the hardest party post-COVID? I would guess in Los Angeles.
A publicly open party, yes.
Yes.
Well, so first I had that difficulty with the first night at Bootsy, but then my second time at Bootsy was much easier because somebody recognized me there. And then this time I actually felt like a baller because I pulled up right at 11 and it was like people weren't being let in yet. And there was a huge crowd outside, pandemonium, like you said. And I see this person at the door that I recognize. So I call their name and I say, hey, like I'm on this list. And sure enough, I was on the list this time. And he was like, yeah, you're good. Just let me in. And I walked in the club and like nobody was in there. It was just like the DJ and like me and like two other guys. So I talked to one of them.
You're real chatty, huh? You just
Yeah.
go and talk to people?
Yeah, just talk to people. Hung out with him, made friends with him. And then eventually, like once more people started rolling in, he went off with a friend to a table that had gotten a table, like a section next to like the DJ booth. And then I kind of rolled up with him. But then the guy was like, oh no, like our table, you can't be here. I'm like, all right, no problem. Like I just turned around, whatever. And then a minute later, the same guy taps me on the shoulder. He's like, you know D? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, dude, like da. I think he used to be a former employee of yours.
Who? What did he look like? J-Dub?
No, his name was Caesar.
Oh, Chris.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he said,
or Caesar.
Caesar. He said he did Young and Reckless. Like,
Yeah.
brand.
Oh,
Caesar,
yeah,
of course.
Caesar, of course.
Yeah. So I met Caesar and he's like, I got you all night. Like, don't worry, you're with
Who's
me.
Caesar with? Caesar's buying tables at fucking Poppy?
Apparently, I got free 1942 all night.
Oh my God.
I had they brought bottles out, bottle service, the whole thing. I was like jumping on the ledge, like standing on the side, like the.
Thanks, Caesar.
Yeah.
He listens to
Caesar,
the pod.
look at
Yeah, no, thank you, Caesar, for real. So yeah, I just hung out there, met like three, like Tim was saying, people are just hit on you now. 3 girls asked me for my number. It was
Wow.
great.
Because they're like, how'd you get into this? You're drinking 1942 at the Travis Scott party.
Yeah, and then Travis came out eventually. I saw other people from Bootsy that I recognized and just had a good time. It's on my Instagram story if anyone wants to see.
What is your Instagram handle? I don't even know it.
It's Jason, but instead of an O, it's a 7. So at Jason.
You should make it new guy.
Yeah.
Working on it. Working on getting at new guy. Working on it.
Yeah, you
If any of the
DM me and I
listeners
don't
can
even
help.
follow you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
I need to see how your night went. Well, so it was a success. Travis performed.
It was a big success. Travis performed.
Must have been crazy when he performed.
Huh?
Crazy?
Oh, crazy. Like everything was crazy. Don Tolliver was there.
Oh, I see Caesar in the Instagram story.
Baby Keem was there.
Okay.
They did like all the big hits. They stayed open a little later than normal. Travis was feeling himself. It was just like a good time. Just I had him like as close as I am to you is how close I was to Travis, which is like
I
surreal.
mean, your Instagram is insane.
Yeah, it's like surreal. So definitely an amazing experience, and made some friends. Met some fairly big TikTokers, and just had a good time.
How did it
Connected.
get to Caesar realizing that you knew
So
D?
the guy that I talked to initially when I was at the bar, when I was just me, or when it was just the DJ, he was friends with Caesar, and I had kind of told him like what I did, which is just intern for 5'4", and he was kind of familiar. So I think what happened was when Caesar was like, oh, you can't be here. I turned around. He asked his friend, what does he do? What's his deal? He told him that I was your intern, and then Caesar was like, oh my God, and then that's when it all turned.
So initially, Caesar wanted to kick you out of the table.
He wasn't being mean. No, he wasn't being mean. He was very nice and polite about it. He was just like,
Caesar,
hey, like,
you listen. Come on, be nicer.
no, he was amazing.
No, he did. He hooked him up.
Yeah, hooked me up big time. Like I'm 3 for 3 so far.
Wow. Well, good for you.
Thank you.
Ride the wave.
And he's going to Bootsy tonight.
Are you going back to Bootsy?
Yeah, just to
Back
Do you
to
plan to
back?
shower or?
No, yeah. So my plan is I've been here obviously, and then I woke up at 8, started working at 8, so I set everything up that I had to do.
What do you do about brushing your teeth?
So I didn't brush my teeth today, but
Disgusting.
I had Garrett bring me gum, and I do have deodorant, and that's how I'm starting. But after this podcast,
Why don't you just go get a freaking toothbrush?
Listen, after this podcast, I'm gonna go home, drive back to OC, shower, do some laundry, get all my stuff in order there, come back tonight, and then not drink tonight, drive home after Bootsy, and then be back in the morning for work.
Sounds like you're sleeping here tonight.
No, because I slept here yesterday, so I can't do it 2 nights.
I mean, if you just had the right amenities, you can get through a little bit better.
You just need a shower and you're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, at least just brush your teeth, deodorant, wash your face.
I mean, at this point, getting a gym membership with a shower and you have free.
Honestly, yeah, that's probably the move.
How about we put in a shower here?
It's not that easy.
You want to support this habit?
I've
Support this habit.
I've asked. It's not that easy. Well, you're heading on a very Hollywood path, so let's see how this train continues to go.
Hopefully in a positive manner.
Okay. Usually derails.
Most people aren't built for this.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's different.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's see, Tom. I think I found the perfect gift for new guy.
What's that?
Athletic Greens. He's basically homeless.
Yes.
He hits all the.
My mom listens to this. I'm not homeless.
He chooses to sleep in our office.
Yep.
So he needs to be nutritious.
Of course.
When he's on the go, hitting nightclubs and parties.
Travis Scott.
And he wants to have energy for these big nights out.
Right.
Feel good the next day. So he can head on over to Athletic Greens, get his 75 multivitamins and minerals and all these great nutritious things. Make sure you get your greens. This way, when you go out, you don't have to bother about, should I grab a salad before hitting Poppy? I'm just going to have an Athletic Greens.
Greens and a tequila shot.
Athletic Greens and tequila.
Good
and
to
you're
go
off
for
to
the night.
races.
Yep.
So head on over to athleticgreens.com/group chat. And with your purchase, you get a free year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs today.
Oh, that's amazing. It's a great deal.
I mean, you're a traveling guy. You're traveling from club to club.
Yeah.
Those travel packs would be good for you.
It'd be amazing. Traveling from OC to LA.
That's true. You have a nice long drive.
Yeah.
All you got to do is put some almond milk in my Athletic Greens, mix it up, and
Delicious. I'm going to have to try that.
Yeah. Maybe you could bring the door guy a healthy shake.
Keep him healthy.
Yeah, he's not trying to drink.
I'll bring gifts. I'll come bearing gifts to the club.
Yeah,
It's a good way to get in.
that's a great way to get in. That's how I used to get in back in the day. All right, let's get back into it.
My jersey's in the mail.
So, now that we are rising social media stars, I started researching other rising social media stars. And a name that always comes up amongst young people, specifically young males, are the Nelk boys. I've heard their name really over the last year. I didn't know who they were. Come to find out, they kind of became popular. It sounds like doing pranks. They're from Canada, and they became really big in like the frat college scene in America. They moved out to LA. I think they're in their early 20s now. And it sounded like it started off with 4 guys, and I believe now it's two main guys, and they have like a crew. And they're the Nelk boys, and they've become this huge sensation on YouTube. They aren't able to monetize on YouTube. They can't sell ads. They've been demonetized because of their content. Everything from language. They got in big trouble last year on YouTube because they were throwing physical parties during COVID. So they pretty much make $0. They literally make $0 off YouTube. They have a clothing brand called Full Send. That's their name. That's their brand. That does reportedly over $50 million.
It's crazy.
They launched a seltzer called Happy Dad Seltzer that apparently has already sold out in various places around the country. And they look like they're building a mega empire targeting. It really feels like the next generation of like the Barstool kid, right? Like Barstool's probably an older crowd now. And
yeah, I would guess the Barstool fan is
late 20s now.
Minimum 30s.
No, I'm sure. I mean, do you listen to Barstool?
I don't listen to Barstool
Okay,
at all.
so it's probably 30 then.
But I am familiar with Nelk Boys. I don't listen to them, but I'm
I
familiar.
think Pete was like the last.
So maybe 25.
Yeah.
So this is obviously a younger demographic. And they have just built this enormous empire on being irreverent, being who they are as people. And they're okay. Don't monetize it. We don't care. We'll sell clothes. We'll go sell liquor. And funny enough, our friends are involved in their business, which I think the president of their company is John Shahidi, someone we've known probably nearly 20 years, always early in the social media game. So him and his brother Sam are involved in the business. And it looks like something pretty interesting is being built here. And it just shows if you build the following, what you can do with it. So effectively, like the Jake and Logan Pauls of the world started off as like comedy, prankster type people. The Nelk boys have started off in that game. And I think when you look down if you did like a history book on social media stars where they started, so many of them started as pranksters and jokey type people. And they've built these incredible followings far beyond that now. And they can actually sell product.
Yeah, selling the product is the most impressive because we know so many people who have millions of followers that can't sell product.
Yeah.
Jason, can you give us a background? Who are the Nelk boys?
To my understanding, the Nelk boys are just party animals. They just
And they're
love to
two
party.
guys?
I know I think it's Kyle and Steve will do it. And Steve will do it also does like his own personal brand. But they're just, let's fly to Vegas and bet $50,000 on this spontaneously. They just random party, shotguns, drunk every video. It's rambunctious.
Yeah. And I think that's what it is. It's like they're being themselves and they don't give a fuck.
Right.
And it's insane. They have sold $50 million of clothes, if that number is correct. So the New York Times did a story on them, and that's kind of why all this information has kind of gotten out. They did a whole profile on them. It's amazing. Like you're seeing these followings turn into mega businesses. Before it was like, oh, maybe they could sell the few $1 million of merch. But then there are so many social media people now that actually can sell product, and they double down on what they are. They didn't change.
It's interesting that mass retailers will be willing to carry their product, but YouTube won't let them monetize. Because effectively, they're the same thing. Whether you're selling a Nelk Boy seltzer or a Nelk Boy content, it's still a Nelk Boy affiliated product.
Well, I'm sure a liquor store or grocery store looks at the world differently than Google does.
I think that's interesting.
Yeah. I think Google's just held to a different standard. And so they feel like they're not kicking them off the platform. They're just saying we can't sell ads. By the way, I got a lot of feedback from people on our conversation on YouTube monetization. So a lot of the biggest YouTube stars are kids. And so the numbers that people are throwing around that kids are generating is actually incorrect because of all the child privacy issues. And if a kid is watching these ads, they're not engaging in them.
Sure.
So it's actually a quite tricky situation. Like if I show Dominic a video of Blippi, he's not engaging in the ads.
I guess the idea is that the mom or dad is watching too, or overseeing.
I don't think they're watching. I'm not watching.
Right.
So I think it's YouTube, when it comes to serving ads to the audience of young kids, the ads are kind of seemingly ineffective from that perspective, right? Because
but the ad buyers,
they're buying impressions. They don't give a shit.
Yeah, they don't care. But if Dominic sees Colgate toothpaste 1 million times because he's watching Blippi, guess what toothpaste he's going to see and he's going to pick it. He'll be like, I want Colgate.
No, I don't think so. I don't think he gives a shit.
Or I want Dr. Pepper.
I just don't think, maybe when he's older.
He's getting brainwashed.
He might be.
You won't know until 3 years from now.
Yeah, I won't know till he's much older to see if those ads are effective or not.
Yeah, because you won't, you're not paying attention, so you don't even know what brands are being fed to him.
Yeah.
But I would recommend watch 1 hour with him and write down which brands are being served to him. Likely
it's toys.
the same brand.
It's mainly toys.
Okay, Dominic loves toys.
Yeah, but like I don't
He
know.
came over my place and he's like, "Where are the toys?"
Yeah.
So the ads are working.
Yeah, I mean, but he likes toys without the ads. He doesn't know what age. I don't know what age he'll be like, I want that toy from that brand. That's when the advertising actually works. Yeah, the kid wants garbage trucks. That's all he wants all day.
He's being probably fed ads with garbage trucks.
Maybe. I think he's just obsessed with
I think like content is so wired to people's brains that we don't even understand it, which is why people spend billions of dollars on these impressions.
Yeah.
Because in YouTube, you have to watch the ad.
Yeah.
It's not like...
Well, if you have premium, I think you can skip ads.
Okay, sure. But most people are watching ads.
Yeah.
Which is why the business does 15, 20 billion in revenue a year.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I don't really watch YouTube. And when I do, for some reason, I can't remember ads I've been served. I don't pay attention to YouTube ads. I don't know. It has to be pretty clever for me to pay attention to.
You just watch the countdown and it says you can skip ad in
ad.
5, 4.
Yeah.
That's all you're looking at.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to think like, because, when I looked at that number and I was trying to, and then I got a bunch of feedback specifically on KidStars, like it's really hard to monetize their content on AdSense because, they're serving ads to effectively 3-year-olds, 5-year-olds. Like I don't even think
that makes sense too.
Yeah. All right. We'll see. So the big talk the last kind of year or two has been about breaking up big tech. What will the federal government do to go after Facebook, Google, Amazon, Apple, all these companies? Not off to a good start.
It's over.
FTC was going after Facebook on monopoly kind of charges in regard to their purchase of Instagram and WhatsApp, saying that they should be broken up because they control a majority of social media in this country. The judge dismissed the case and said they can be revisited in 30 days if you present a more compelling argument. That's not good.
It's over.
For Facebook, it might be.
Yeah, Facebook. So for people to understand, everyone in tech, or a lot of people in tech have brought up the issue that Facebook owning Instagram, they basically control social media in the US at least, and they need to be unwound. That's like no one even knows how to do that.
Yeah.
Like the government wouldn't even know how to unwind these acquisitions, and same with WhatsApp. And the courts basically said that it's not happening. And I don't think the antitrust lawyers are going to be able to present a better argument because it got dismissed pretty definitively.
Early on. They
didn't even let it get to like a point where you can actually present it. So, I think the safe assumption is Facebook is safe.
And I think Facebook can easily make the argument that there are emerging social media platforms that are threatening their business.
The obvious one is TikTok.
Yes.
The U.S. allowing TikTok to be in the U.S.
Yeah.
You have to let Facebook own Instagram.
Exactly. And then there's still growth in Snapchat. In fact, Facebook in America lost users. Actual Facebook, not Instagram. Facebook itself declined in North American monthly active users. There's emerging platforms like Discord. There's the Fortnites of the world. There's all these there's Twitch. There's so many platforms now. I don't feel like Facebook and Instagram are dominant like they were 2 years ago.
They're dominant in the sense of ad dollars, not attention.
Yeah.
Because I think young people probably aren't on Facebook and Instagram, but Facebook and Instagram have the best ad product.
Yeah.
So
that's only a matter of time. TikTok will have that shortly too.
Right.
Snapchat finally built it, and look what happened. Their ad revenue exploded. Like they didn't have the programmatic ad platform that Facebook had. Snapchat added it, and boom, TikTok is building it right now. Mm-hmm. It'll get built, and then that will diversify the ad spend. But like you look at YouTube, they're $20 billion. That's not like a small chunk of change.
Yeah, with the amount of attention span taken away from Facebook and Instagram, you can make the argument that it's actually going to be declining from here on out, not increasing.
Yeah. If they got under the hood of usage amongst its core users, I would look at something like a TikTok or a Fortnite or a Discord, and those numbers might look better than the engagement on Instagram.
I'd imagine TikTok US dwarfs Instagram on daily usage, not active users.
Not active users, yeah. They're not even close.
No, but if
Like
you were to say
hours spent
average TikTok US citizen
versus average
Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great product.
Yeah, you're obviously addicted, so that's different.
No, but Drama probably spends 2 hours a day on TikTok.
No,
If I
on
had to guess.
Instagram.
Yeah.
2 hours?
I think 2 hours. The way he talks about TikTok, I would guess it's 2 hours. Hour in the morning, hour at night.
Like the morning edition, the evening edition. Today in TikTok. And what's interesting is,
I mean, the average Instagram user in the world is 50 minutes a day. I think that's larger in TikTok.
okay. I think if you did comparative core age group of TikTok versus core, the same age on Instagram,
Right.
I would agree with you. Probably the usage is higher on TikTok. The other thing is, I don't know if you saw this, Facebook today launched Bulletin, which is their subscription newsletter and podcast business. And I think Malcolm Gladwell is their star that they've already gotten on the platform, which actually should convert.
Yep.
And I think I was reading who all the other writers were. I didn't know who they were, but it skewed old, right? Like
It should.
Yeah.
Because the average Facebook users now, it used to be late 30s. Now I'm guarantee you it's 40s.
Yeah, it wouldn't be, it's probably late 40s, right?
Right.
And so I think that's definitely like,
Facebook has the problem where you talk about demographics of countries where you have an aging population like Japan.
Yeah.
They have an aging population. It's going to affect economic growth eventually, right? Because your population's dying. It's effectively what's going to happen to Facebook, right?
Yeah. And I think the problem is that before there was this world where Facebook was dominant by just adding the relevant feature of the time, but now platforms are themselves brands, and they are, to the youth consumer, not the most favored brand anymore.
No chance.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'm curious, Jason,
Yes.
21-year-old,
Yes.
is Facebook/Instagram top 3 social media platforms people would talk about?
I say Instagram just has some relevance still. Facebook, none at all. No, I would never talk
So
about
what
Facebook.
would you say is ahead? TikTok?
TikTok for sure, 100%.
TikTok's 1.
TikTok's
Is
one.
Snapchat 2?
or Instagram too.
I'd say Instagram personally, just because of my habits and the way I use it. But if we're looking at it from a global perspective, probably Snapchat and then Instagram.
I think Instagram is still like de facto still the
That's
platform.
crazy. If Facebook didn't buy Instagram, they'd be toast.
Yeah. I just looked up the statistics. So for 2020, the average time spent per month on Instagram was 7.5 hours. And for TikTok, it was 21.5.
There you go.
21
Drama's 2 hours a day.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, so then, Facebook and Instagram should not be broken up.
Right.
They need the help.
They need
In
that.
fact, we should be supporting them because they're an American company versus a
Give them
Chinese
some
company.
subsidies. We'll go the other way.
Yeah, tax credits for Facebook. I mean, how does it? I don't know where Instagram goes other than shopping, because social network, it is not. There's no network effect.
I think Instagram is going to become just a commerce platform.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it's not shopping, I don't know how else they beat out TikTok. If you can't build out,
I've heard the CEO of Thrasio, which is a private equity firm, or no, they're not a they're a private equity backed firm that buys Amazon businesses.
Yeah.
And they believe Instagram will be the number 2 shopping platform after Amazon, which is a crazy statistic.
yeah. Here's the problem: is then discoverability on Instagram is not good because it doesn't allow. It only shows you people you follow and only some of those.
Yeah.
So that's not good for discovery. TikTok is actually better for discovery.
Well, yeah, they allow non-celebrities to actually get content
Yes.
to go viral.
By the way, I don't know if you guys know this. There's a black TikTok strike.
What does that mean?
I heard about this.
Yes,
briefly.
a lot of the biggest Black TikTok creators are striking because, one, so many of their trends and dances and music are obviously what keeps. I mean, if it wasn't for Black culture, I don't know if TikTok would be.
No.
It would not exist.
Yeah.
And so, so there's a strike that why are we doing all this and we're not able to monetize it like other the white creators? And we've said this before. The algorithm clearly favors a certain look, especially when it comes to young people. Luckily for us, looks is not the reason why our content is going viral. Otherwise, we'd be fucked. So we're getting it because we're just that brilliant and that great.
We're the Malcolm Gladwell of TikTok.
Yes, we have the goof.
Please clip that. Please put that on TikTok.
It's a low bar, so we got it. But I saw it trending on Twitter, and I saw like a lot of anger from Black TikTok creators saying that they just don't feel like they're getting to participate in this. And I kind of agree. Like, when you look at all these houses,
Yeah.
I don't say Black kids. Where are they? It's exactly the same looking person in every house.
Yeah, TikTok is basically deciding who becomes a millionaire and who doesn't.
Yeah. They clearly like us.
Yes.
What's interesting, it's banned in India.
TikTok is banned.
Maybe that's why they're favoring us. They want to show that, these
got some brown
Indians are
folks.
big on TikTok.
It's possible.
Could be.
But it's interesting. I want to pay attention to that because I think it will. They have to make amends with the community. Like, I don't know how you do it. There's obviously very popular Black TikTok creators.
Right.
I follow a bunch of them. But I don't, they're feeling this for a reason. So I'd be curious to understand, what are they seeing?
I think they make up the dances, and then the D'Amelios and Addison Rays and Josh Richards steal them.
Yeah.
And they get 10 million views, and they don't.
Yeah.
And it's pretty simple.
Yeah. It is that. Is it as simple as because what I don't understand on TikTok, is it the dance that goes viral or is it the person who did the dance?
This is a great question because I feel like every kid in their room asks themselves this.
They're not wondering about what college to go to. They're like, is it the dance or
Like
is
every
it me?
15-year-old
all you
on the
gotta
planet wants to go viral and is like thinking of like, well, how to do their dance. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it's just everything. It's the lighting, it's the lip syncing or whatever it is you're doing. But there's like it's just the quality of it.
The mind-boggling thing is the volume of people that try to perfect these dances who aren't making money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is most people.
They spend hours.
99% of people do not make $1. The 21 and a half hours, that's on the platform. They're spending another 30 hours in front of their mirror dancing like shit
Practicing.
in their room
Practicing.
and practicing and then they're still not going.
Will this be in a museum one day?
What?
Will this be in a museum one day? Like all of the TikTok trends, and you can walk through and they'll have videos of people doing all these different dances. Because this is like the art. This is the art of our generation.
But
If this is the art of your generation, you're fucked.
Please don't say that.
We were watching the Euros yesterday, and Pogba, who's one of the France strikers, hit a goal and did a TikTok dance.
Yeah, he hit the whoa. He did a little.
That's not a TikTok dance. That's just it's from us.
And then in the last World Cup, I forget who it was in the World Cup, did a Fortnite dance.
Yeah.
Griezmann for the final. He did the L celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not denying that they obviously have a huge influence on culture. I'm just wondering, like, how do you fix this problem? If people think, do you give credit the same way that you give credit for the music? Why can't you credit the dancer?
How do you patent a dance move?
I don't know. Copyright a dance move.
Like, does Shiggy get credit for the Drake dance? How many millions of people did that dance?
He does get credit.
Wait, he was in the music video.
He was in the music video, but if you think about how many people effectively licensed this dance, Odell Beckham Jr., who made it famous, but millions of people did that dance.
I forgot about Shiggy.
What's a big problem with Fortnite too? Because they put a lot of emotes, like you can do the dances in the game. but they'll just be dances that like are made by Black creators, and they just get no compensation for it whatsoever.
I guess digitally you can NFT a dance.
Mhm.
And
I don't
every
know.
time someone digitally does your dance, you get paid.
It's just hard to track. TikTok needs to figure that out. Here's the thing.
Monetization of dance moves.
I'm not even.
That's a business.
That's crazy.
And I'm not even saying that it actually has to be monetized. I think if you just had to tag the person that came up with the dance,
Yeah.
I think they would be happy with that. Give me the fucking credit. Let me get the followers. So now other people who need dance moves come to me.
I think that's the polite thing to do. Like some people do it, but a lot of people don't.
So what's the biggest dance move right now?
Oh, I don't know right now. I have no idea. Couldn't tell you.
All right, moving on.
All right. Let's move on to everyone's favorite, Bill Gates. And Tucker Carlson is not happy with Bill Gates right now. I saw it trending on Twitter. Tucker Carlson on last night's episode had a gentleman on talking about Bill Gates and all the farmland he owns. And it's a really funny video. So for the last year, there's been a lot of articles on Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal that Bill Gates is buying up American farmland. And so obviously the conspirators believe that, he's trying to control the food supply.
Sure.
He's trying to whatever. I don't even know what they believe. And what research is showing, he's buying the farmland to help preserve it because he has publicly been saying for years that he believes that there will be a major food shortage in the coming decades. And that we need to either figure out how to figure out synthetic foods more, which is why he's an investor in things like Impossible and other synthetic beef and synthetic animal byproducts. And the idea of preserving what farmland we have and treating it properly so that it can be more efficiently ran. And so, obviously it goes on Fox News that why is this one man buying up all this farmland to line the pockets of all of his other investments? Look, I understand that people don't like Bill Gates. I get it. Everyone thinks he's out for fucking blood. I recommend everyone watching the documentary that was done on him on Netflix and just watch him talk, and through the lens of conspiracy nonsense. This fucking guy cares about humanity. And of all the jokes and everything everyone makes fun of and all the stuff he goes through, the guy actually cares. He built this incredible foundation that has helped so many organizations, eradicated fucking basically polio off the planet, working on so many other diseases, helping everything from clean water to food shortage. He actually thinks about the world in a way that like our politicians can never think, right? He has the freedom to think like this.
Yep.
And he has the resources to make impact. So the part of this article is that, why does this powerful man own all these farmlands? It should go to individual farmers because apparently most farmers rent their farmland. They don't actually own it. Bill Gates, I was looking up, bought all this farmland from a lot of private equity. He didn't buy it off farmers.
Yeah, he's not capitalizing on the individual farmer and charging him more rent.
No, he's going after private equity owned. He's buying huge plots of land because he has a view on the world about food shortage that he has documented for years talking about.
I mean, it's just basically Tucker Carlson realizing, hey, conservative viewers hate Bill Gates.
Yeah.
They think COVID, everything is his fault.
Yeah.
And let's throw another conspiracy theory on Bill Gates and it's going to resonate. I bet you that clip went viral.
It did. That's how I found it.
Yeah.
It was trending on Twitter today. The why is Bill Gates. By the way, everyone has known about this for years. This is not news. This is not brand new.
Right.
Bloomberg had a story about it a year ago saying Bill Gates is buying farmland and here's the reason why.
Clay Travis, Buck Sexton, and Tucker Carlson are literally dumbing down America.
There's a lot of other people too. Don't sell yourself
But they
short.
have massive scale
Yeah.
in terms of viewership.
I mean, I think the challenge is that I agree with you. They have the reach, but what's fueling all this is the stuff on the internet, and then they just capitalize it as good marketers.
Mm-hmm.
That like, does Tucker Carlson think Bill Gates is who? He doesn't give a shit.
No, he doesn't care. Do you remember 20 years ago, Tucker Carlson had a show on CNN. He was pretty measured.
Yeah.
20 years ago.
Yep.
He just found his lane. It's same with Clay Travis. He was measured 10 years ago, but they realized you can get rich just feeding nonsense to conservative viewers.
So, I mean, I think the problem is like, you look at something like this, that he is the largest individual land or farmland owner in America. So he owns 300,000 acres. There's estimated 911 million acres of farmland in the United States. 911 million acres. He doesn't own even 1%.
Yeah. So it's a stupid segment to begin with.
Yeah. And the thing is like, it's caused now hysteria, which is now going to go, someone's going to go on TikTok and connect the farmland to the collapse in Miami to John McAfee.
And Epstein. Everything comes back to Epstein.
Yeah. Which that I get that piece.
That's the problem. That being true.
Yeah. It really caused like, I don't know. And I think in regards to the farmland, like, I need to understand more on his thesis around it, but I just find it hard to believe it's in a malicious way. He's been very public about climate advocacy, and this is a part of that conversation. He's like, it's important to preserve farmland for the benefit of our climate.
Right.
So we'll see. What do I know?
Do we have anything else?
Do we have any shout outs? I think we have some shout outs.
We do. We have a shout out from Andrew Pelfrey.
Okay.
He says, shout out to the Fartheads United Football Club manager, Tyler, for his 30th birthday. The Fartheads are coming back to win a championship this season. Hope your ankle heals quickly. The new MacBook Pro is going to take you to the moon. Team Water, your friend, Baldy.
Wow. That's their soccer team?
Yeah, football club.
Football club.
Football
Okay.
club.
Then we have another one. Big shout out to Justine and Danielle Gomez, who just got married the same place I got married at.
Oh, wow.
At the Baccara in Santa Barbara. Great venue. And he rocked New Republic shoes and Melrose Place gear, which we didn't have Melrose Place then, but I got married in New Republic as well. So congratulations, guys. Great place to get married. And
I think it's a Ritz now.
it's a Ritz, yeah. They changed ownership, but it's still Baccara.
Okay.
And yeah, amazing venue. And I remember the day after our wedding, we, our friends obviously were still at the hotel. We hung out for a little bit. And then we went into town to a Mexican restaurant that we, for whatever reason, started going to when we went to Santa Barbara, Carlitos, and ate like a monster. Because basically you starve the month leading up to your wedding
Right.
to look good in those pictures for the rest of your life.
Great pictures.
Yes, it's worth it. I have no problem with doing that. I think I would be so bummed out if I looked fat in my wedding pictures.
Yeah, of course.
Because I was like, wow, I look pretty good there. Great. Congratulations. Shout out.
Congratulations.
What else?
One shout out for me.
That's it. All right, guys. So a couple things. First, go check us out on TikTok. What are we at? How many followers have we added?
13.4K. So 2.4K since our last podcast 2 days ago.
Wow. Okay. And you, thanks to your Travis Scott, only did one post yesterday too.
You see, there was technical issues, but we have stacked up more. And despite that one post that we did yesterday, we still were able to see positive growth. So overall, I think it was a successful day.
Okay. Despite your lack of...
I was wondering about that, you guy.
Don't worry. After I put him on the list for Travis Scott, I was like, what's up with the one post?
We're having some Wi-Fi issues.
We don't have Wi-Fi issues here.
At home.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds like you've been here, not at home.
Yeah.
Got him.
A lot of bullshit coming out. A lot of bullshit.
You guy.
New guy's a liar.
I'm not a liar.
Okay.
I'll give you the full story after
After the pod.
Off the pod, yeah. Off the pod.
And then if you have any questions, we're trying to like beef up this idea of having questions. So group chat questions@gmail.com. If you even have specific crypto questions, Ian is happy to answer those as well. Or if you just have any generic questions, send it on over and we'll try to answer it. All right, everybody. See you back on Thursday. Go check us out on TikTok.
At Group Chat News.
At Group Chat News. See you later.